I heard you were still stuck on the whole the black Americans are actually indigenous and everywhere else they say they were Africans are truly indigenous. Let me help you out with a little bit more, so you get a better context. Now this shit is way broader than you would ever understand. We are not just indigenous to the Americas, we are indigenous everywhere. What I mean by that is, let me get into it. So you remember when basically they was in there talking about some the Moors ruled Spain for 700 years. Now why would somebody just rule Spain for 700 years? I really want y'all to think about this. Because they were indigenous, yeah. And if you hear about the Moorish and Jewish exploration, or pretty much, where they're like kicking the Moors and the Jews out, they didn't really kick them out. They started burning them. They started killing them, meaning that the people who are in Spain now they're not even indigenous to that land. Also, when you learn that they added 1,000 years onto the timeline just to write themselves into history, which is actually hella fucking weird. You guys look into that. You also understand that the medieval times never even fucking happened. The way they were living while the Moors were doing what they were doing, that's how they were living. It wasn't 1,000 years prior to that. The Bible wasn't 3,000 years old. It's not 3,000 years old. There is a reset every 250 to 230 years. One is coming up. Not quite sure when, but that is why people are waking up. Now let me drop another one on y'all. Now remember when they sat there and they said, let me just do it like this. So I personally started doing my own research, and I asked, I was like, was Christopher Columbus a Jew? Yes. When did Christopher Columbus pretty much arrive here, pretty much? And they were like 1492. 1492 was when the Caribbeans were discovered, and yeah. So now keep that in mind. Christopher Columbus comes across these dark-skinned Indian people in the Caribbean, mind you, and pretty much, I don't think he was there for no reason. Because why would a Jew just go down there? So I started doing even more research. Go down the rabbit hole. All Jews, anybody who was our skin color, who looked black, had nappy hair, was known as Jews way before then. So then you go back and you look at the maps of everywhere that these Jews were kicked out of, or killed, or burnt, or hung from. You know what I'm saying? And you realize they were not only in Spain, but they were also in Italy, what we call now Britain, Ireland, Poland, Germany, and that's just a few of those places. But yeah, we were everywhere. And I think Christopher Columbus was down there to try to basically warn the people down there that these people were trying to take over and kill them. And did you know that Christopher Columbus kept 2 books, one with the Book of Lies and one with the Book of Truth? And it's been said that one of his, the book that it got passed down to one of his relatives or a descendant of him, basically sold it for a lifestyle, which everybody knows. Why would I sell my great grandfather's or my great uncle's shit, knowing good and goddamn well this is probably hella important? No, these motherfuckers kept it for themselves. And did you know that's not even Christopher Columbus' name? Did y'all know that? Oh yeah, I'll make sure to post a picture of it. Everywhere that has been colonized has had a black presence, and Argentina was one of them. And when you think about Argentina, I'm not sure if anybody else is thinking this, but when you think of Argentina, you should think of present-day Hawaii. Why? Because these are the same people who sit there and they hoop and they holler that they are more Asian, not knowing that that is not good. They are breeding you out of your own land. So the next time somebody ever brings up Moor, please look up Jew, because they are the same people. They are one people. The only reason why they called them Moors was because they were more darker than them, pretty much. But they knew them as Jews also. And what does that mean? That means the Bible was right. That these people who would basically claim themselves as Jews are not Jews. And no, not everybody was God's children. You need to also start reading the Bible, because not only is the Bible a book of spells, but it's also a book of genealogy, also a book of letting you know who you are and where you are going. It predicts everything that is going to happen, meaning that if you are black, you are part of a prophecy, meaning that no, not everybody is part of the 12 tribes of Judah, especially not no motherfucking Native Americans and Mexicans, because at least not the light ones, the indigenous black folks are, and then the indigenous black folks of Mexico are, but no. And then when you also start looking deeper into like history, you end up finding out that there were even dark-skinned people in Asia. I don't know how everybody's gonna end up taking this information, but please, when you look up Moors, please look up Jews. These white people have not been here for that long. They have only been here for about 200 and some odd years, and we need to start working on something now, because they may be able to erase us on the internet, not really even then, but they are working on erasing us permanently. This is no longer a joke. And when y'all realize not only that, but you guys are part of the Truman Show, they know who you are. You are being broadcasted. They know who you are. Other countries try to warn you multiple times. You are Truman. If you are dark skinned, you're Truman. They know who you are. And I promise you, the day that you sit there and you decide to wake up, you're going to recognize that they know who you are. You have a presence about you. Stop letting these people play in your motherfucking faces.